6 weeks. One index card per lunch break. One question at the top. What happens if this fails? Harry read invoices most people ignore. And by the end, he had 5 cards on his wall. 5 businesses where failure means fines, shutdowns, or hazards. 5 businesses where customers don't get to decide if they want your service. They're required to have it. Grease, water, paper, sewage, trucks. Let me show you what's on each card and why any one of them could become your first invisible paycheck. Harry worked as an accounts payable clerk. His take-home pay was $3,473 per month. He lived in a basement unit, and his car loan was underwater by $1,391. On paper, he wasn't failing, yet he still felt stuck. Every week, he approved payments to companies nobody bragged about. No billboards, no influencers, just invoices with a message, required. That's when a thought hit him. The best businesses aren't the ones people admire. They're the ones businesses quietly pay to stay alive. Thomas Stanley and William Danko describe this vibe in The Millionaire Next Door. Quiet wealth usually comes from owning boring systems that other people depend on, and those systems don't care about your brand colors. So Harry stopped hunting ideas. He started hunting pressure. He made a rule that changed everything. If the client is paying because of law, safety, downtime, or regulation, that business is harder to replace. It's not a trend, it's a necessity. To make it real, he built a tiny mechanism that fit his life. Every lunch break, he grabbed one blank index card. At the top, he wrote, "What happens if this fails?" Then he read the invoice line items and wrote the consequence in plain language. Fines, spoilage, lost shipments, locked doors. He wasn't budgeting, he was training his eyes. 6 weeks later, he had 5 cards on his wall. 5 invisible businesses with hard moats. No degree required. No massive startup capital. Just problems that never go away. And here's what made them different from every business idea on social media. The customer doesn't get to decide if they want your service. They're required to have it. Let me show you what Harry found, and why each one could be your first invisible paycheck. The first card smelled like French fries. Commercial grease and waste oil recovery. Everyone stares at the front of a restaurant. The menu, the vibe, the line out the door. But the opportunity is in the back alley, where used oil becomes a liability. Restaurants can't dump it. They can't store it forever. Local rules and environmental fines turn grease into a problem that never goes away. So a contractor provides sealed bins, swaps them on schedule, and hauls the waste away. It looks like trash, but behaves like rent, month after month. And here's what makes 2030 interesting. Waste oil is getting refined into fuels that big industries want, including sustainable aviation fuel. So you aren't just collecting sludge. You're supplying feedstock for someone else's refinery. This business scales through route density. One stop is nothing, but 12 stops on 2 streets? That becomes a machine that runs on repetition. Now you might be thinking, someone's already doing that in my area. And you're probably right. Harry called a local operator and asked what the moat was. The guy didn't talk about marketing. He talked about permits, insurance, and never missing a pickup window, because one missed pickup can turn a back room into a hazard overnight. Here's what Harry discovered when he actually called those 19 restaurants. 10 owners complained immediately, not about price, about inconsistency, missed pickups, overflow, smell, staff having to deal with it. The guy already doing it? He was unreliable. That's the opening, because pain beats discounts. Every time. So Harry did something most people won't do. He went to the city licensing office and asked what it takes to be legal. Insurance, containment standards, pickup logs, disposal documentation, annoying steps, real steps, steps that filter out dabblers. Most people won't do annoying. And that's exactly why it works. He bought 3 sealed bins, used, from a closing restaurant supply place, for $379 total. He rented a small spot in a shared industrial yard for $197 per month. He printed simple service agreements with clear pickup windows, and he acted like reliability was the product, because it is. In month 1, he landed 3 locations. His first month revenue was $987. The margin surprised him. He did pickups on his way to work twice per week. He stored the oil safely. He tracked volumes with a clipboard. Old school, simple, boring, profitable. Then he noticed the real lever, route density. By month 3, he had 8 locations on 2 tight routes. His monthly revenue hit $2,679. Costs rose a little, but not much. Same van, same schedule, more stops. So he measured one thing, minutes per stop. At first, each stop took 14 minutes. That capped his capacity. So he redesigned his environment. Color tags on bins, standard swap steps, gloves and absorbent pads in the same pocket every time. The right action became automatic. Stop time fell to 9 minutes. That one change let him add accounts without adding hours. And that's when it got scary, in a good way. By month 6, he had 17 accounts. His monthly revenue averaged $5,171. His take-home from the route after costs was roughly $3,111. That number mattered because it almost matched his paycheck. So ask yourself, what happens if you double route density? What happens if you hire one driver and keep the schedule? What happens if you own 2 routes, then 3? That's how a dirty little service becomes a $1 million asset by 2030. Not overnight, but inevitably. The second card was different. No trucks, no bins, just a certification and a testing kit. Backflow prevention testing. Here's something most people don't know. Every commercial building with fire sprinklers or irrigation systems needs annual backflow testing. It's not optional. It's law. Water utilities will shut off service without a valid test report. No test, no water. The certification takes about 40 hours of training. The testing kit costs between $2,000 and $5,000. And once you're certified, you have a license to bill $75 to $150 per test. Every building in your area needs you once a year. Every single one. Harry looked at the invoices from his company's building. Annual backflow test, $123. The whole building, 20 minutes of work. The company that did the test, 3 trucks in the parking lot, route density again. But this time, how with credentials that keep competitors out? The third card surprised Harry because it involved paper in a digital world, document destruction and shredding. Banks don't just throw away old files. Medical offices don't just toss patient records. Law firms, HR departments, insurance companies. They're all required to securely destroy documents under federal law. HIPAA, FACTA, Graham-Leach-Bliley. The fines for non-compliance can reach $100,000 or more, so they pay shredding companies to come on schedule, collect locked bins, destroy everything, and provide certificates of destruction for audits. That certificate, that's the moat. It proves compliance. Without it, the business is exposed. And here's what Harry noticed in the invoices. The shredding company charged a flat monthly fee regardless of volume. Recurring revenue, built on regulation, predictable. You can start by partnering with a destruction facility. You don't need your own shredding truck on day 1. You need the route. And the certificate. The fourth card was messier than grease. Septic and grease trap pumping. Restaurants need grease traps pumped monthly. Commercial buildings need holding tanks serviced. Miss a pump? Health code violation, sewage backup, shutdown. The barrier here is the truck. Used vacuum trucks run $15,000 to $40,000. That's real money. But the contracts? They're locked in. One operator Harry talked to had 67 restaurant accounts, monthly service, predictable schedule. And here's what he said. I haven't had to sell in 3 years. Referrals only. Because nobody wants to think about their grease trap until it overflows. The fifth card was physical labor. But premium prices, mobile fleet maintenance. Trucking companies can't afford downtime. If a truck sits in a shop for 3 days, that's lost revenue, missed deliveries, and broken contracts. So the smartest operators bring the shop to the fleet. A service van with stocked parts, 2 techs, night visits to depots at 2 in the morning, oil changes, brake checks, sensor cleaning, tire swaps, quick fixes that keep units moving. Even if fleets go electric, they still have tires and brakes. Still have sensors that need cleaning and calibration. If you save a depot thousands in downtime, you can charge a markup that feels unbelievable and still be the hero. Depot managers don't price shop at 2 a.m. They pay whoever shows up. Now here's what Harry didn't expect. All 5 businesses looked completely different. Grease, water, paper, sewage, trucks. But they shared one hidden trait. They don't sell nice to have. They sell relief, compliance, uptime, and trust. And once Harry saw that pattern, he stopped asking what business he should start. He started asking, what pain is unavoidable? That shift is the real moat. Or he wrote one sentence on a fresh card and taped it to his monitor. If the client can't say no, you can scale. Simple, brutal, true. Because most people build a business that depends on persuasion. These businesses depend on necessity. Remember the comment about competition? All the good locations are already taken? Here's the truth Harry learned. The moat isn't being first, it's being reliable. 10 out of 19 restaurant owners complained about missed pickups, not price. The incumbent was dropping the ball. That's your opening, in every market, every time. And here's why these businesses matter more now than ever before. Regulations keep getting stricter, compliance keeps getting more complex, environmental standards keep rising. The businesses that solve mandatory problems, they don't shrink during recessions. They don't get disrupted by apps. They don't depend on algorithms or followers or trends. They get paid because someone signed a law. So here's the play starting now. You don't need all 5. You need one that fits your skills and your tolerance for unsexy. If you like physical roots and recurring pickups. Grease recovery fits if you want a credential that keeps competitors out. Backflow testing fits if you want to serve professional offices with compliance anxiety. Document destruction fits if you have capital for equipment and stomach for mess. Septic pumping fits if you're a night owl with mechanical skills. Fleet maintenance fits. The invisible path isn't about working more hours. It's about choosing a business where demand pulls you forward and where replacement is hard. Harry gets asked how he got lucky. He smiles and says, well, luck is visible, moats are invisible. So pick a moat. This week, run the invoice lens on your own world. Look around and ask, what are people forced to pay for? What happens if it fails? Who has the keys? Then do one tiny test that doesn't require fantasy. On your drive home tonight, count back doors. Not houses, not cars. Restaurants with grease problems, just count. That's step 1. Then call 5 operators. Visit 1 licensing office, get 1 quote, map 1 route, talk to 1 depot manager, ask 1 building manager about their backflow test. Small moves, real moves. Do that. And something shifts. Not hype, not motivation. Belief. Because once you see the invisible economy, you can't unsee it. And that's how you build wealth that doesn't need applause. Only contracts that renew